Okie dokie, I'm going to read Proverbs 21 for today, April 21. And this is out of I have a bunch of Bibles, but right now I've been using the Living Bible Paraphrased. It's wonderful. I found it probably at a thrift store, and it has the other woman's markings in it, whoever had it. All right, Proverbs 21. It's a good habit to get into, to read a proverb a day. Of course, we should be taking in more of the scripture. But you will program your mind, you will code your mind for wisdom and for living life. It's kind of like Matthew 5, 6, and 7. If you read Matthew 5, 6, and 7, Sermon on the Mount, you have Yeshua's words. If you read Proverbs, you have the wisdom that was given to Solomon and the other writers. And it will program your mind if you avail yourself to it and your spirit is right. Just as water is turned into irrigation dish. Ooh, oh my gosh. Just as water is turned into irrigation ditches, so Yahuwah directs the king's thoughts. He turns them wherever he wants to. We can justify our every deed, but Yahuwah looks at our motives. Yahuwah is more pleased when we are just and fair than when we give him gifts. Pride, lust, and evil actions are all sin. Steady plotting brings prosperity. Hasty speculation brings poverty. Dishonest gain will never last, so why take the risk? Because the wicked are unfair, their violence boomerangs and destroys them. A man is known by his actions. An evil man lives an evil life. A good man lives a godly life. It is better to live in the corner of an attic than with a crabby woman in a lovely home. I'm going to stop and comment here. I did a post the other day about a radical change that's happening in my life. And the decision I had to come to was because I had become a contentious woman. Now, not in the sense that I was spiteful or mean or angry or yelling ever. I never did that. I never did that kind of stuff. But what I did do was, because I don't want to say too much, but I couldn't keep my mouth closed when there were things that didn't make sense. And because those things weren't going to stop, I was never going to stop asking questions or being triggered by certain things. And so to stop hurting someone, sometimes you have to remove yourself. And I was not going to be able to stop that process that's already been set up in me. It's ingrained. It's been there for several years now. And I'm not able to. I've done everything. I've gone to counseling. I have fasted like you would not believe. Done all kinds of things to stop this, but it's not. And so when it says it is better to live in the corner of an attic than with a crabby woman in a lovely home, we didn't have that. But because I was becoming contentious and a source of irritation because of the brokenness inside of me, this can't happen. It's not okay for a man to have to live like that. It doesn't matter the reasons. If I do not have the self-control to keep my mouth closed. So this is true. This is true. Crabby woman. I'm not a crabby. I've never been crabby. I'm not crabby, but I could not keep my mouth shut when I got triggered by certain things, and that was causing contention in another human being that is unacceptable for me as a believer and a Talmudim of Yeshua. I cannot bring harm. If my words inflict conviction on people, that's one thing, but to have someone not sure when they're going to get questioned or whatever it is, whatever the situation is, everybody's different, but sometimes the physician's motto is do no harm. And I am a physician. I'm called Dr. Sherry by people. They joke with me about that, but because I belong to the great physician, I can bring no harm. Okay, it is better to live in the corner of an attic than with a crabby woman in a lovely home. One day, we will have a lovely home. And I'm not crabby. I was crabby for a long time, but I'm not. But anyway, you can't do that to another person. An evil man loves to harm others. Being a good neighbor is out of his line. The wise man learns by listening. The simpleton can learn only by seeing scorners punished. And even then, scorners, seeing others punished, don't learn. The godly learn by watching ruin overtake the wicked. He who shuts his ears to the cries of the poor will be ignored in his own time of need. That's heavy. He who shuts his ears to the cries of the poor will be ignored in his own time of need. An angry man is silenced by giving him a gift. A good man loves justice. I won't even comment on that. A good man loves justice, but it is a calamity to evildoers. Yes, if justice comes to evildoers, it is calamity to them. The man who strays away from common sense will end up dead. The wages of sin is death. A man who loves pleasure becomes poor. Wine and luxury are not the way to riches. The wicked will finally lose. The righteous will finally win. Better to live in the desert than with a quarrelsome, complaining woman. I'm not quarrelsome and I'm not complaining. I just can't keep my mouth shut when I'm triggered. The wise man saves for the future, but the foolish man spends whatever he gets. The man who tries to be good, loving, and kind finds life, righteousness, and honor. The wise man conquers the strong man and levels his defenses. Keep your mouth closed and you'll stay out of trouble. I wasn't able to keep my mouth closed. I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried, but I have a brain that locks onto things, and if they don't make sense, it needs answers. So I couldn't keep my mouth closed. Mockers are proud, haughty, and arrogant. I was proud, I was haughty, and I was arrogant, and I have been broken over these last 5.5 years. I'm sure there's still that in me. I'm in Boston, and I'm from Boston, but he's done a lot of work. And if we are proud, if we are haughty, if we are arrogant, we are not fit for the kingdom. The lazy man longs for many things, but his hands refuse to work. He is greedy to get, while the godly love to give. That is a sign of a believer. If you are generous, if you're not his. You can't be his and not be generous. That's just the way it is. God loathes the gifts of evil men and their sacrifices, I have to add, especially if they are trying to bribe him. Oh, that's exactly what it was. Yes. A false witness must be punished. An honest witness is safe. An evil man is stubborn, but a godly man will reconsider. No one, regardless of how shrewd or well-advised he is, can stand against Yahuwah. Go ahead and prepare for the conflict, but victory comes from Yahuwah. If you've watched, thank you. And I hope the word inspires you.